Hi everyone, this is Erin from Sandpaper Road, and today I'm showing you this home decor piece that I made using the Vintage Treasure paper collection by Craft a Clock. It's essentially just an 8x8 project, and I used a shadow box frame, and it looks really nice. Now you could use a vintage photo from your own ancestry. I'm using this frame here I really just got it from Target. It's an 8x8 frame, and there you can see it in the centimeters, or anything that you can find, that is available to you wherever you live. Make it easy for yourself, get a frame that fits your paper. If you want to make this project a little smaller, you can get a 6x6 frame and use the 6x6 collection, a shadow box frame so that you can make it really fully dimensional and interesting. So that's essentially what we're doing. Let me show you quick the collection. It's, like I said, the 8x8 collection. This paper is from Poland, and each collection, in the 8x8 size, comes with 3 sheets, double-sided. So I'll just quick go through them, and then we'll get started. That way you can see what else is in the collection. I really love these papers. Just look at them. I have so many ideas. Travel stuff, sympathy cards, ancestry stuff. I just love it. Now, I'm showing you the small set as well, just so you can see what's going on inside and how they're different, because this is where I got the letters from inside the 6x6 set. On the back of the packaging, they've got like a little alphabet set there. Otherwise, you still get 3 sheets of the same double-sided papers. Oh my goodness. They're just I love them. I love them so much every time I look at them. I love the text. Like, it looks like book pages or old world style, like documents and things, ledgers. That's really cool. And I love these beautiful little frames. Great for card making. So that's just a quick look at the collection. I also this is a cut apart sheet that coordinates with it. This is the extras to cut that coordinates with the Vintage Treasure collection. Look at the butterflies. Now, if you don't have a frame, you could just use, I got this wood block, or like you could use a canvas if you wanted to, or even just some scraps of like nice cardboard or chipboard, and then just put it in a regular frame. It really doesn't make a difference. It's just a project. This shadow box frame is just one I had on hand. So I think the thing that essentially makes it a home decor piece is using your scrapbook talents or your card making talents and putting it in a frame. Because really, think about it. We make some beautiful projects, don't we? Some beautiful papercraft projects. So don't be afraid to frame them and turn them into home decor pieces. So I'm going to start with just a few sheets. And like I said before, I'm using the little quote unquote photo that I used is from the vintage photo set. It's like an extra set that coordinates with the collections. And if you live in the USA, you can pick these up at the Sandpaper Road shop. And I will leave links in the description box below if you're interested. Yeah, I just like her little face. This is the vintage photo set too. There's lots of other little vintage looking photos. Really nice for just, whatever kind of vintagey type projects that you do. But certainly you can use your own vintage photo if you have, your own photos of relatives. So what I did was I tore this sheet in half and then kind of flipped it around because I wanted those roses to be on both sides of that girl, and I just couldn't find a sheet in the collection that did it the way I wanted it to look, so I just made it my own self. And I'm just using a little bit of washi tape to secure it. It's not going to matter because that's the back, but just to hold it together while I construct the rest of the project. And because it's washi tape, then I can tear right through it and act like it's its own piece of paper. So yeah, see how the flowers are like coming on out from behind her on the top corner and the bottom corner. I really like that look. So I'm just distressing the edges of the picture. This is a really sturdy cardstocky type. It's really, really heavy pattern paper is what I'm trying to say. So you can do a lot of distressing and things with it. Now, I did want to try to give it just a little bit of a border, and I'm going to have to mount this up using some scrap cardboard. I really don't have measurements. This was something I was just sitting down and I thought, let me just do this. And the only measurement I really am giving you is the frame that I had, which essentially, like I said, you know, the frame and the paper collection are going to match up. And they don't even really have to, because even if you have a regular frame, of course you can trim your paper first and then just work off of that, or a piece of scrap cardboard or just whatever you have on hand. I bet you have a frame of something that you don't really, you know, care about what's inside the frame that you could change up. They also have really inexpensive frames at, you know, discount stores and things like that. So just doing a little bit more tearing. And if you notice that when you tear towards you, then you'll reveal a white border. So I like to do that. And I'm just experimenting with a little bit of the look before I glue anything down. Like I said, this is about the easiest thing you could ever do. Tear some paper, lay it down, and it's almost not even worthy, I think, of being a tutorial, quote unquote. But sometimes I think some people just maybe get some benefit from seeing somebody do something sort of simple, and then you think, oh yeah, I could do that. So. And sometimes the pattern paper that you use makes the project look more complicated than it actually is. When you see really what this project is at the end, you'll be like, oh, it's really only like 3 sheets of paper. But certain little techniques make it look like you've spent a lot of time on it. Like this here. Just dragging your scissors along the side, and be careful when you do this. They do make a distressing tool. I think Ranger makes it. Yeah, Ranger makes it. And that's pretty nice. But if you don't have one, just be careful and try with your scissors, and you can just drag it along the sides, and it just gives it a more of just vintagey look. I mean, and look at what we're doing. Just layering some paper. I'm using some scrap cardboard to raise it up and give it some dimension. And already it looks like it's a real, you know, complicated type thing. I'm just going to mount this little vintage photo on some white cardstock. Just like that. And you could see it starting to come together already. It looks great. Yeah. Yeah, that looks really good so far. Now, here are some little embellishments from the extras to cut. And you'll notice here, look at the butterflies. Maybe you don't want to fussy cut all these things out individually. These are actually from the Junk Journal set. I don't think I showed it in the beginning. But it's one of the extras to cut sets that coordinates with the collection. But notice how I didn't cut out the butterflies individually. I just left them there and cut it into a rectangular strip. And same here with these letters. Now you saw where I got those from, the back of the packaging, but I just tore a little bit off and just leaving it like that. Now if you look with your eye, the butterflies going vertically and then the letters going vertically, that creates a little bit of balance there. I'm going to use some distress ink, or some archival ink, just whatever you have on hand, whatever kind of brown ink you have on hand. And I'm going to sort of just add a little bit of ink here to the butterflies and to the letters to make it look like it matches with the rest of the project. And I've got this little ink blending tool, but of course, if you don't have one, you could probably use just paper towel or sponge, something like that. Yep, just a little bit of ink. And that makes, I am sort of folding up the edges where I tore just a little bit, and that just kind of gives it a little bit more vintagey look. And remember, since I have a shadow box frame, I can add all kinds of dimension. I could go crazy with, scrap cardboard underneath stuff and make things popping up off the page and stuff, because that shadow box can hold that dimension. So distressing the edge of the butterflies as well, and then adding a little bit of ink there. Yeah, very nice. This project was fun to do. It's creative. I'm spraying a little bit of water just because I felt like it. I wanted to curl up those edges a little bit, and so adding a little bit of water it just makes it a little easier to crinkle. Now when it dries, then it'll dry nice and stiff, but it'll still be crinkled. It's kind of vintagey. Remember this piece that you're looking at right now? Remember that's the piece that I tore in half and retaped with washi tape on the back. Yeah, just a bit of water and just a little slight crinkle. You can't get away with that with all papers because they have to be relatively thick for you to do that. But look at that nice little look that you get. Just a little bit of a vintagey look there. I thought, I'll do a little bit here on this one too. Why not? And try not to get carried away because it is pretty fun to do. But yeah, try to know when to stop. That's for sure. So now I'm just playing with the arrangement. Again, nothing is glued down yet. So I've got those tickets there from the junk journal set. I've got my vintage photo. I've got a quote here from some coordinating quotes. These are the Catch a Moment Quotes 3. And I could add butterflies if I want, flowers if I want. This I'm using some double-sided tape, and I'm just going to start to adhere my project together. I like this kind of stuff sometimes, just every once in a while. I do a lot of scrapbooking and a lot of card making and mixed media stuff, just lots of different paper crafts. And this kind of thing is it's such a different kind of a relaxing way to craft where you're just making something could be for the house or for a gift. This would be a really nice gift to give, great for housewarming, or, sometimes to give to somebody who has everything already. Or if you have, an older relative and they have a birthday coming up or something like that, wouldn't it be fun to create a project like this, put it in a frame and have like an actual, instead of using one of the photos or the vintage photo set, like find an actual vintage photo from the family and put it in there and just frame it nice. Wouldn't that be nice? So yeah, lots of neat ideas. Now, if you, like I said before, if you are interested in this paper collection, definitely check out the Sandpaper Road shop in the USA. If you see that just pay attention to the shipping time, because I do order items from Poland and then adjust the shipping so that you don't have to pay the international shipping. I take care of that. But the shipping time might be, just pay attention to the shipping time, because I might be in between getting my order in. But don't worry, these are always going to be available to you. So I'm using a little bit of liquid glue for parts of this project. I really enjoy the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive for card making and scrapbooking and other just projects. It's a really nice glue, holds well, dries fast. I really like it a lot. And I use an acrylic block to sort of just, whenever I use liquid glue, sometimes I just need to set something heavy on top of it, and then I can keep working while it just sets. So that's where you see I'm using some acrylic blocks there. It doesn't take very long. I just don't want it to curl up. It takes a few minutes. Little bit of ink around the edges here on the quote. There's lots of neat quotes there, and I don't know if you saw, but there's English on one side and Polish on the other. Yeah, it's looking really good so far. I really like it. Yeah, very nice. I like that little girl's expression. Lots of interesting little vintage photos come in that pack too. And I like using scrap cardboard on, home decor type pieces, or even cards sometimes. I like using foam too, and foam tape, but sometimes I don't always have it. And, if I'm in between supplies, or I don't know, sometimes I just reach for a scrap of cardboard instead. It just depends what I'm doing, but yeah, I usually have that on hand. And I really like those butterflies a lot. In my mind, I wanted to add all these other butterflies and all this other stuff, but I have to know when to stop. I get a little carried away sometimes. My husband, he's so nice. He'll just I show him the projects I make, and sometimes he just goes, looks like a lot. So sometimes I have to tone it down a little bit. I just love paper so much. I just want to put everything on one thing. But I suppose that's part of it. We're just learning to balance, making sure you have enough empty space, enough white space, so your eye doesn't get too tired or overwhelmed. So yeah, this is a really nice project. Easy to make, simple, lots of fun little paper cutouts to play with. Definitely hope you check it out. Definitely hope you check it out. Because think of all the things you could make with the paper besides something like this. I immediately thought of like sympathy cards, honestly. Get well cards. I just think this is a really nice paper, sort of subdued in the color tones and things like that. Mother's Day cards, friend, sister. You could even use it for, depending on your, like a wedding or anniversary. Oh, anniversary. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, so definitely I think when it came time for the accents, I was going to do like a less is more approach with the butterflies, even though in my mind I just saw all these butterflies flying off and all these wreaths, and just I wanted to use everything because it's so pretty, but I settled on just, a few little butterflies and a flower. I did need something in the upper corner, on the upper right corner, and I'm so sorry. It seems to be a little bit out of the shot there. I was having some camera issues, and you should see the way I have it set up, like on my wall. I had some problems, so it's really not very high tech. Like sometimes I watch YouTube videos and I see they have these whole big contraptions set up, and I literally have like a selfie stick taped to the wall. And it's a little funny sometimes, so sometimes I have problems. Yeah, I was struggling because I had this empty space here up in the upper right corner, and I didn't want to draw attention up there, but it looked like it needed something up there. So I was trying to find something that was the same kind of tone as what was already there. Like I didn't need another large embellishment, but I needed something in that space so it didn't look empty. And what I decided to do was I took one of these little tiny tags that see the vertical stripes, and then that would encourage that vertical continuity. And then I just cut. Look at that. See, it's not something you really notice, but it fills that space. And then I put the remainder of that tag down at the bottom. See, here's where I'm going to use some foam tape. Just sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. But I mean, scrap cardboard, that would be a little bit tricky to try to cut it that small and then add glue, where I have foam tape that's that small. Although sometimes my foam tape gives me a little bit of issue. It's so sticky. And I'm adding some hot glue just on the bottom parts of the leaves. Yeah, that looks good like that. Try not to overdo it there. These butterflies, though, I just love the butterflies. So if this is your first visit to the Sandpaper Road YouTube channel, I just wanted to say thanks for stopping by, and definitely, if you like this kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button, which means that you'll get notified every time I upload a video. It is free to subscribe, and it's just free to subscribe. But when you subscribe, you just get notified, that's all. Your subscription really means a lot. I wouldn't be able to do this without you watching. So I really, really appreciate all my subscribers. Yeah, this looks really, really nice. I love it. Now I am going to add some white and black acrylic paint for paint spatter. I love doing that. It's so fun for me. A lot of times I hold myself back from doing it, but I just was like, no, I'm gonna just have some fun today. So I use some scrap paper and cover up the parts that I don't want spatter on, because remember, we're in control of it. We may not control where the spatter flies, but we can control where if we don't want it to go on something, we just cover it up. So just tapping my brush. And it's just regular acrylic paint, 50-cent paint from wherever, you know. This project turns out really nice. You can also head over to the blog if you want, and I've got a complete supply list over there, and a few close-up photos, not too many, because I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but yeah, definitely head over to the blog. You can follow the blog at sandpaperroad.com. There's all kinds of stuff over there on the website, including the Tackle Your Stack series, craft outfitting, all kinds of stuff. So definitely check that out. Links to the shop. Same thing with the black, and just some water to sort of just thin it out just a bit, make it a little bit more workable. Sometimes my paints get a little thick. You know, I don't use them every day, but I like to have them on hand. So yeah. Now this project was originally shown on the Craft O'Clock YouTube channel. So thank you so much to Craft O'Clock for letting me be a part of their creative team, and for providing the products today so that I can make these these projects for them, but also for you as well, so you can see all the different things you can do with the papers. And like I said, they're based out of Poland, and they're a really, really great company to work with. Lovely people, very caring and kind. I am cleaning up my work surface with just some baby wipes. I need to do something about my work surface. It's getting a little gunky. That is so nice. I love it. It looks great. It was so fun to make. But doesn't it look like it's like got so much more involved than it actually did? I mean, you saw what I did. Tearing paper, gluing paper, crinkling paper, inking paper. That's pretty much all there is to it. And all there is left to do is add it to the frame. So thanks so much for watching. I had so much fun sharing this project with you. Hope you subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.